Need to talk about core. I saw a TikTok yesterday that talked about how people often wish they could live in different decades because they want to experience artistic movements from those times. The creator in this video suggested that core is actually one of these artistic movements that we are lucky to be living through. And I actually agree, but I think we need to examine this a little bit more. The comments on that video talk about how core to them is sort of a cathartic aesthetic experience that takes seemingly random videos about the experience of living in the 21st century, matches them together to create an emotional response that reflects the world they see in front of them. And I think that's a decent analysis, but it is extremely incomplete. And this analysis of core I think is actually a great example of anti-intellectualism in Gen Z, and I want to talk about that right now. A couple weeks ago, I made a TikTok about hyperpop and how that genre has faltered over the years as the mainstream has taken the aesthetics of that genre, stripped them of their ideological or philosophical meaning, and created new art that just falls flat based purely on the aesthetic of the genre. And I think a similar thing is happening with core. If you watched early niche talk or core creators like Mason Noel or High Inquiries before this genre even had a name, you would know that these videos were often tinged with political messages. Anti-industrialism, anti-capitalism, environmentalism. These videos had great aesthetics, sure, but they weren't empty. Though the genre takes some influences from weirdcore, often showing sort of otherworldly aspects of 21st century life, the videos weren't meant to make you depressed. Many of the comments on those early videos had people saying that they got them interested in a political movement or radicalized them in a meaningful way. However, as people outside of that sort of philosophical bubble began to find core, these videos have begun to trend more towards the American Psycho depression slideshow side of things. And I think that this is actually very dangerous. Sure, these videos may be that aesthetic catharsis that you were talking about. While there is definitely aesthetic pleasure in these videos, as all art should have, divorcing them from the ideology means that we will never get a meaningful art movement based on core. We'll simply get another passing fad of aesthetics, and that's dangerous. People comment fed all the time under Mason Noel's videos, but I think that honestly the more likely psyop is people taking these movements with strong political ideologies, completely divorcing them of that and turning them into shellless and meaningless aesthetic trends. And I think this extends to many other movements in our generation. I don't know what the cause of this is, but people don't want to actually intellectually engage with the art that they produce. When something like core comes along, you need to harness the energy of that movement, the passion for a politics, for a dreaming of a better world. But when we don't, and we create American Psycho edits about how depressing and terrible the world is, nobody gets mobilized. People get sedentary, people get depressed. They're stuck in their ways and they don't want to do anything. Those original videos gave me hope that we may see some serious climate activists with, some balls. I want to know what you guys think, and are there any other movements that you've seen this in? What do you think about core and niche talk? And what do you think about the algorithm? Obviously, videos that are good will get spread to other people. So how do we keep the intellectual core of artistic movements while spreading them to the max amount of people as possible to hear their message? Let me know what you think.